Okay, so you should find it here on the page, and there's the basic specification of it. So really the focus is on investigating a crime which involves a suspected CryptoLocker type activity. So a key objective of the module is really to understand network traces and how that can be correlated against host activity. So what you should find is that we've set up both a virtual machine, and also we've captured traffic from the incident. So when we click here, hopefully we should find our Wireshark trace from the incident. Okay, so this Wireshark trace has been captured from the actual machine that was suspected of the malicious activity, and it's split into 4 main parts. So you can merge these together if you want, but we've kept them separate just now. Okay, so there they are. And so what you'll find is that there are lots of activity on the network. Some of it could be malicious, some of it obviously isn't. So it's a task to be able to analyze and to find out what is the criminal intent on the activity. Okay, so when you open up, you should be able to find various streams and so on, and then be able to follow them and identify whether they're malicious or not. Okay, and there we go. Okay, along with this, we've set up some virtual machines with the actual virtual machine on it. So the only time you're really interested in is the time that the Wireshark traces identify. So you should find there's a CryptoLocker folder, and inside the CryptoLocker folder there'll be several virtual machines. So what to do is you can power them up and use them. Once you've finished, then just power it off, and then that should allow someone else to be able to investigate. We're also setting up a OneDrive so that you can download the virtual machine and investigate it offline. So just let me try and find my CryptoLocker here. Just power it on, and I'll let you see what the virtual machine actually looks like. Okay, so it's a server that's been identified as possibly having malicious activity on it. So if we just open that one up, and there'll be a lot more virtual machines for you to be able to look at, but make sure you power it off, and if possible return it back to its original state after your investigation. Okay, so let's do that. And then we'll just get logged in. And there we are. Okay, so it's best to look at your Wireshark trace first and then determine really what happened, and then go on to this machine and see if you can actually cross-corroborate any of the evidence in there. So a key target area, I think, is possibly around FTP type activity. So you'll probably find that you should be able to look at the Wireshark trace and then see certain things actually in there. Okay, so you can use any tools that you want to be able to investigate the host, but it's important that you understand the whole timeline of the activity from the Wireshark trace. So let me just shut down here. Okay, so the PDF for the coursework is here if you want to try it. The hand-in date is around the 27th of April, and you should submit it through Turn It In. there's about 20% for your basic procedure. So that's really looking at the methodology that you used or that you should use in terms of the investigation that you're going to do. Okay, so it should have a fairly strong methodology based on other research if possible. Then you're going to outline your findings here. That's 45% of the marks is really to outline what you found, what you think is important, and so on. And you can use appendices to show the evidence that you've actually collected. Often it's a matter of showing the timeline of the activity around the maliciousness from there and giving the evidence as it is. Then 20% for inclusions. That's really showing how your methodology worked and what the significant findings were. And then there's about 15% for your references and presentations. Okay, so if you have a look at the marking approach, there should be a strict methodology in what you're actually doing. I appreciate that you have an investigation procedure first, and then you possibly reverse that back into the overall methodology. You should always take reasoned judgments for anything that you see in the activity, and make sure that you give a balanced opinion at all times. Then there might be things like cipher codes and so on. Again, you should outline the method that you've used to be able to crack the codes. Show your timeline, that's very important. And then, if possible, show your cross-corroboration of evidence between the host, any audit logs on the system, system logs, and so on. Okay, so if you have any questions, then you just get back in contact with us and we'll try and resolve them. Thank you.